Mommy, oh, you can
Good evening, everybody. If you just remind you that this is What's Up Radio, number one radio station in London. Make sure you don't move your dial because in that program I did bro and I said we be here friend no awareness. Awareness the first time you just tune in just to give you a little background, you took you all the way to Ghana. And you are course a year and about political era no. Winning na ya hwehwe so na ye di in some Eddie Abreu. And especially if you live outside Ghana, you also be who dia air cost so e wo fie. No crowd not out in fear, but and fans and we have such a busy life, you don't get a chance to listen to the news. But this is a very good opportunity. And not just that, also it gives you an opportunity to also express your views. And to make sure say, move it down. No, I'm going to stay right here with you until 7 p.m. Now I'll give a special shout out to Yang Kanafwaya Wakata. Because and a year World Cup on the Association just before the program, I was just watching. I've seen some videos going around. This tune says spirit is on high. I would like to know once so I know that there's a political show there, but I would like to know your predictions. Do you think that Ghana is to me by a couple years between the Abafiana? And I said, do you think say he and I big crowd? Who do you think is going to win the Red Cup? There's a lot of predictions because on social media. There's one that I saw. It just like and I was like, oh my god, this is very interesting. Need to make it sure say what's no better than more of him time I did you medini and because and some nomade ban emu ed ankasa. So what cutters one mama to kanwa mami a little bit background on how the atmosphere is like because when I was coming just before the program no nation na o share because the feeling is inside ankasa. And not bigger for many of obey Juma a Mr. Emmanuel Ashley and net obeteninka. And then me boss about Copeko Kujisibons and net obeteninka of ya. Now you cost this weeky and your ma akukoso ewa Ghana it be a surprise. If you're not too surprised, I'll say the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, you know, and you marry. Lara Hotsama Bogana, say, and the preachy Abogana, also the former finance minister, Professor Principal J, is that. But pay a Diana Wabeya Magana, we spend some time to look into his life and we will look at what he's done for our beloved country. A year to show boy accounts, fellow Ghanaians. Then we go to or say announce expose accepting should shopping money constitutes criminal behavior. Central Music Osoforiata was able to acquit himself. Franklin Kujo that is answer me better. I mean, for us, you can't lecture us on what language to use. I have like I hate back of Ferrata. Ask them the way yes, I'm a Ghana, I'm a Gashia, and I've been one mega. Oh, that. Sebakata Karizu Lenusia, only once a Baktakari would receive him. Say when I'm and some, but they will look at us for Foriata bask into his government as glory. Na enya no this week he yain him a year illegal mine and ekalam say ya ekoso ewo oh my Ghana mu now stripping northern Ghana naked illegal mining weakening the havoc on fragile vegetarians. When you go to the Northern Ghana, and him say a honor assassin is not that green like it used to be in the south. No, not noise and I'm saying everywhere we are. It is the now Northern Ghana. I would like to know your thought. What are your experiences right from the beginning? Yes, that's a program. You be like now to more like to know your thought as well. I free Honso is the bow tango bow and Nyayere Kura. School people study on floor. DES says assembly work and to provide the needed furniture. I name say free chairs and as you see about net and colossal in the 21st century and net crowd so we have picture na et name na crowded form near board so a poor and nobody table or more edition and then we will look into it to see where our education system has been. Are we moving forward? And does that mean expanding education to everyone? We've compromised on the other resources now near education and education anyone. We will look into it. Ghana and the IMF restructuring must go ahead hand in hand with managing financial better. 11 government taxing digital platform as against digital economy. When you send Bebre and so now and like I said, and net many me boss Kweku Jesse Bonsu, and Emmanuel Ashley, and when you na fear ain't see and net yen na ebabetina has say na in some no about. Without much I do, member a bit for Acha ain't many with you know and baby. Mammy any kind and Ima, good evening.
Good evening.
Now how's your week been? You been watching?
Maybe I need to bad here. Maybe me for I believe we feel high warm we feel high warm you may decide so be taking French leave as often as you wish. James, me and said every week our French leave now take Sisi, I want to serious element. I want to ask what's the enemy? Your friend is saying, says sweaters or whatever. Just I want to have an and see when you are not taking French leave, no one feel why warm.
Oh, me feel why
warm. Make it it's not so
I said last week, last week I think that we take a break. It's only last week.
No, who took the break? You took a French leave.
No, actually,
it wasn't a break.
It was a French leave, right? And they say, where is it taking French leave? Me, Patrick, the definition of French leave, I'm not too sure about it. Please, frame the meaning of French leave because I say,
I said, okay, now one crowd here now working.
So, come up.
Oh. Some
maybe wait to me the microphone, the other one. I can mama me and keep yeah, the fun is still not the best. And
hello.
Imaka.
No, yeah. Let me say. Realistically, no. The week has been a week of ups and downs. Let me say, from how you say a autumn budget.
Yeah.
The autumn budget name butterflies and the way and Accra. And Ghana so let me say also finance minister. Then decided to finance Ghana, finance UK. Yeah, the equivalent union say finance the call so this week. Say Obi Ghana no being so patcho.
Yeah.
Then that's what has happened in our finance side for the week, which is great to know though.
Yeah, Mommy Embra said there's something this week here. But before some said
Hello.
Yes, I think so. It's much better.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Now, Kweku, how's your week been? Me who watch it?
Michelle said, "I mean, me borrow it." I said, "Kata, kata."
Then it's good you mentioned that. And then what's the never prediction? It's if only na a World Cup.
Yeah.
Or see any truck to one. Musha, in your way, your opinion, which country do you think is there?
I think Kata will win.
Qatar will win.
Yeah.
Before I say let's start say show, usually I have 5 hours. I got to the studio like in this kickoff was 4 o'clock UK time.
Yeah.
And we do have say better to say 4:20. Not yeah share on one.
Yeah, share Kata one.
Share Qatar 2, but command into. You have to be careful.
That is why I said
Come on, no penny about
that's why I said oh yeah.
No, there's something going on for that NTA. Yeah, there was this prediction, a unique prediction, scientific prediction. Yeah, and Ghana is winning. It has agreed.
Hey, Ghana winning.
I think I've seen that.
Ghana won. Yes, Ghana winning. Ghana won.
I've seen that video, and it was very interesting. Every time she said it's already.
Yeah, scientific. I know you, and your prophecy. And scientific.
You might make sure they are to war. You might also Ghana and a very name.
And scientific.
And a very name. The mom there is very difficult. Don't tell me I'm a question, but it's very, very difficult there. To me, I think it's probably one of the European countries. Next week, and I'm the prediction about to me.
No, I think there's no problem. At least say, well, is it 4 weeks? Barely 4 weeks to go. And see, if you give me, I mean, I want to be very clear, like I say, it's likely to go back to the Latin Americans again. It's just my view. Brazil, Argentina. All that kind of region. It's my just to be fair. Yes, Europe. I mean, say Europe teams share them who as strong as they used to be. The Germany, the French, yes, but UK me power champion now so no credit. They are no work. Mean to me where they do pie or gaming. Yeah, but you're not set up because I have a project. But realistically, the Latin Americans might do better. Spain is there, yes, but looking at issues, Italy is no longer any good team, in my opinion. Exactly, Portugal has also not been very well as well. So if I look at France, Germany. And basically, not that time, that part I know, say, we are very
France,
good.
Germany, yeah. France, Germany.
See, Europe, and see, me sure it's likely, say, you better nation they real, and sure it's likely to be for Latin America. That's my video.
Yeah, it's here for I would like to know your predictions because there's a special bonus. It doesn't matter whether you are studio, I say, we are one of our listeners at the end of the World Cup, and that's a surprise. And Mommy who prediction away Facebook comments or by the end of the week, which country do you think will win and possibly give us the score and because that way will not say it to me at the match. Mommy practice the markers on the Kuma. And now this week, I've been seeing a lot of TikTok videos and other videos talking about the high standard of living, and for the first time, cost of living. The cost of living. Now, what was interesting is this is the first time I've seen a video about a lady in UK on also a video because almost every video I made so far it's all about Ghana for. Now lady and I'm bringing this up because obviously the studio is in the UK or see oil or normally or or called Dawson Market. Also, all called the 180 something airport shopping went to me and Jopiana. The beat set oil, na £5. This year, there no, and I'm £11. Or Dawson Market. Also, call a crap for us that is about even higher than that, about £12. Let's look at and Jay, I'm not speaking another inflation ever sign apostle. Looking at what is happening in the terrain in terms of the cost of living. Do you think that what is happening in Ghana? And I don't want to push it so much to Ghana because you bet call, but you bet me I return. Do you think that we can blame Ghanaian politicians and Mame fans that Imaso?
Nana, Mr. Nunu, Nan here. I'll say the backstory stopped with the leader. Nana, why can't we blame, or should we blame? It's not a matter of blaming, but it's a matter of reacceptance of responsibility. And I will rephrase your statement and say, do we have to say, if there's an inflation spiral of Ghana, I that bad, should they accept responsibilities? Yes. Yes, it is. I agree with you. There is inflation spiral around the world, no. And yet Ghana, and yet UK, it's across the European continent, the American continent, and wherever. But the reality of the matter is that let's look at the rate of the inflation. Right. Yeah, share the standard of living of the people with all the inflation. Yes. How many can see a man for them? I will kill Musisia. I'm back with you free. I could do with you. We have such facilities in that part of the world. And our politicians, by virtue of they give promises are any possible. Besides that, the promise is 10 years possible. So make me know. More often, they tell us those stories when they come, they do something totally contrary to what they promised us. And we don't punish them because, excuse me to say, majority of us are not that exposed to know that we go for election for ourselves and not for the leader in government. Therefore, by our virtue of upbringing, may end this for life. May NPP for life. Instead of looking at the policy of a particular government at a particular point in time to vote for or against that kind of leader or party, and so I would say the issue is not a matter of whether to blame or not to blame, but it's a matter of whether to accept it from you or to just say, yes, you'll be here, yes, it will be on normal baby, and baby, I'm not saying anything. It's a country, that's how I see.
My member, Kokuso, Cecilia, you at the Ecoso, it will be a say. We all know that a year has contributed a lot to the world's economy, and the Ukraine-Russian war has also contributed a lot. It looks as if we are in recession. Do you have a war, the economy will be within the next maybe year? Because I remember about 2 months ago when our interest rates go through, and in JB this year, sign air cost review. I know the government in the UK, what they've done is they give a rebate of about 300 and something to every household to help with the bills and money. But that money, I know that we are going to pay it back. It's not like it's free. You're going to.
Oh, John, let me correct you. Kufuor was the first person to give rebate of water and light.
Oh, but I know there. But now what's the other problems? I know there's a kind of momutia. And see, it's good at well. Ekoma government no, baby, and one other thing they've also done, which I know the Ghana, I read this week, said they increase the minimum wage Kroma and I got a minimum wage so yeah increase it.
And I can reduce petrol prices, you reduce it.
Yeah, and call it that. It's a kwaku. On a more serious note, do you even have faith with the current global leadership now? Because Omukotina and EU, this year it looks as if said there's a game between EU and this year UK. There's some form of indirectly, once a year, punish you, once I'm free EU. You know, do we have faith in the world economy and within the next year?
Nana, maybe I'll say for the question. I know you said this is the first time you've realized a lady in the UK, right? And I video or TikTok or can say normal word. In fact, Obi anyone recognize the fact say normal ball yedim. Yenim the causes of it. You say Ukraine war is one of those causes. Economy, the price of commodity cost. You say COVID-19 played part. But then you still have to have people who manage the economy. I mean, and to say car free, any break. We have a car not free. It's coming dangerously, but we have somebody who is sitting behind the steering wheel with gears, and then they should be able to select the proper gears to make sure, say, even though on a dangerous, young crash, we will stop safely. And I think that is where the management and politicians play a bigger role in what we are talking about. Even though economists in the so fascinating. And almost a lot of them are people who are another economy who are not involved so much with what is happening, but they are the ones that are suffering more. And on the a month why agitated capra. Now we can say Oman we more America more Ghana more, but as UK Sika air cost road. Ghana Sika, associated. Do we then say economy in my dinner? I will say Sika, baby agent and agent. You said £1 at the point was about seven cities. And our cost right here 8 cities. But if yes, the same global problems, but affect a business here. It means a bit more manage your economy, a bit more manage your economy, and that is where we want people to understand. Say, and yes, you recognize it. Say, minimum, and I say we are saying, but the fact the line we want to draw, and they say, in all these difficulties, are you managing the economy? In a situation a bit to Myanmar woman for at home. That is all that
it's very interesting you mentioned the management of economy. But do you think that as Ghanaians we have control with our finance? And I'm asking this question because it looks as if Ghanaians we are consumers, we don't manufacture anything.
Yeah.
And the more you import, see the dollar. And Ghana for some of the things that are made in Ghana, they don't want it. They would even prefer going to, I don't want to mention names of countries, say even country be crown poor. If you say you rather take that. And the more we are exchanging the money, the more is echo for. So do we blame the government in this aspect or we blame ourselves?
No, Ghana is a sovereign nation, and as a sovereign nation, you have every right to make your own laws and make your own plans as to how you want the country to run. So if we are depending on economy, yes, depending on economy, which in other words, now affect the economy now. It still goes down to the managers of the economy. I mean, this is how Ghana has always been. Remember, say Ghana was a colonial nation whereby we didn't have control of anything. The whites were doing everything for us. When they left and we took over, we should have known and we should have planned our country in such a way that you're trying to say independent. And how do they call it? We have independent, but economically, are we independent as well? So we talk about independent, whereby we go and stand at Independence Square and shout, say the white man is no longer in control of our affairs. But how do we control our affairs? Do we still depend on them for economic? Does our economy depend on them? If that is the case, then we don't have total freedom. We have some partial freedom. The managers know, and I said the politicians should recognize that a time is coming now whereby if we don't have total control of their affairs, a time is coming whereby we will not be able to blame anybody for their downfall. And that is where I want them, politicians. I'm not talking about the current government. I'm talking about politicians. Say, if we don't change the way now you're operating your economy, now you're running your economy, we can't blame any other country for the woes of our country. Do you understand? That is what the blame game has to stop. Nobody is telling the white person, say, and nobody is telling young say independent one. So, and you see, it's getting worse because now, independence, not peace anymore. And I'm a boy.
No, exactly.
Well, but we didn't know anything about pizza. Exactly. But now, no, our taste has changed.
Oh, did you not know that we've got certain groups of Ghanaians that eating pizza free UK, bro?
Well, that is the economy in its own. You know, they play, they talk on. You to be touching a man and say, "Don't worry, my other pizza from London. They will do it back 10 o'clock. British Airways day, but they go and pick it up." So this is what we are saying. Pizza. Why should you order pizza free arbitrary? You know. So the point I am trying to drive at, and then I say, economy now, you are seeing United trouble there. You are seeing in it be suffer, it's needy. No more suffer. No, you want to manage your own economy. And as far as we are suffering, we can't blame the international communities. Say, you are seeing now problem in Tina, my situation are worse off. We should have managed the economy in a very good way.
Let's look at you, Manda. I know say man is in trouble, and I don't want us to go into that. What is Uganda doing? Now the economy, it's well respected on international fronts. Ghana, give it to me.
Nana, I'm happy you put it. It's exactly what I was going to just talk about. Nana, I say, can say me. The backstop of the leadership. And who is the leader in charge of Rwanda makes the difference. Nana, the UK we live in today, the America we see today, were just ones just like us. But you have a strong leader who has a vision, like our own Kwame Nkrumah had, and give him the chance to go forward and build a society. Nana, let's look at Malaysia. Let's look at South Korea and other places. We were with them on the same pedestal some few years ago. Where are they now? They competed the world, top countries.
Yeah.
Look, and then let me tell you some story. You see, China is a developing country economically. I was shocked.
China is developing.
Developing country, just like Ghana. So China has right to tap into a friend saying
some of the funds.
The fund now, a friend saying the climate change fund. China has a right to tap into it.
Worst affected country.
Because it's a developing country. But ask yourself, A secret is force is for the individual to judge. Nana, and see, to answer your question, no, that means they have a leader who knows where he wants to take his people, want to take his followers to. Your problem is our leaders that have gone over the years are the leaders that have interest in enriching themselves and their families at the expense of the nation. Nana, you can only develop an economy when the infrastructure supports it. So first is, if you're a leader, a country person building a year, the key thing is infrastructure. Create an infrastructure. Infrastructure will pay for itself over years. Now, as we speak now, a place like Terminal 3, I don't know how much you paid out of it, but let's give ourselves if it's even 15 years. And Terminal 3 can pay itself off. Terminal 3 will be for Ghanaians forever. Let's look at a place like Akosombo. Let's go back to history. Look at Akosombo. Let's look at, the various infrastructures around the world. We are still thinking of building the HS2. People are thinking HS2 is too expensive. We are not going to make the money and whatever. But leadership has talked to it. They've come out with that policy. And let me give you for the records. Nana, you see HS2, every £1 they are going to generate 90p. But that is for the short term. They are not. If you look at the long term, generations will come and to repeat it repeatedly, be able to generate more revenue to the states. M25. Look at what M25 is.
Even Crossrail too.
That is what it is. Now, therefore, when you don't have good leaders, and that is exactly what Rwanda, the leader in Rwanda, not Rwanda as a country, but the leader in Rwanda, with a vision, has thought through it and it's just developed. Nana, for the information I have, the information I say, the Rwandan leader, Yasuko Krumha, say there's no place of him for true. That been around the fee war buy. You can't build a touch house in Rwanda. They are all blocked, proper. Nana, where I attended primary school, up to today when I went there, they are still attached houses. And this, I've read the place 30 years back, but the touch houses are still sitting there. The question I ask ourselves is, who are the leaders and what is their vision for the people? Because you become a leader so that you create followers, and the followers are looking up to you. Because you dictate where the nation or the society should go. As we speak now, among us, your friend is saying, finance minister no Furiata, right? They haven't been able to do anything yet because the leader is supporting him or her. Is supporting him, to be precise, not her. So the point is, the leader with so much power, say he can make and unmake the society or the followers. It's your problem is that you need good leaders compared to Rwanda. Rwanda has a strong leader who knows where he's taking his nation. He doesn't care what people say, right? His own democratic is whatever. That's a language. That's a talk. Have your talk out there. I am doing what I. At the end of the day, I'm saying this language people say the end will just find the means, and that's what he's doing, and he's getting there. Now we are all seeing it step by step. In fact, you see, the Western world want to go to Africa, they prefer Rwanda to even South Africa.
That is interesting. As here for the BF lines, I would like to be thought. Full set, what can we do? What is Rwanda as an African nation? Oh yeah, Ghana, and how can we change the narrative? The number 0208 144 8773 0208 144 8773 and threat not YG. Besides, we to me share on Facebook and WhatsApp TV. Now do comments and I'll be reading all your comments for you. My moving on. Rise a finance minister. I say the breach here, boy, I am just a year. Now, and I said, weekend. I said, the former finance minister, Professor Kwesi Buchi, is dead. According to the portal, the 78-year-old finance minister passed away on Saturday, November 19th at Collingwood Teaching Hospital, where he was said to be receiving some medical treatment. A year Prof was born on the 3rd of September 1944. He attended secondary school education of Presbyterian Boys senior high in Ghana. Later on, he earned a lecturer of law degree in the University of Ghana and a master of law degree in Yale Law School in the USA. No shedding in way now or to me cultural University of Zambia, then University of Dar and Tanzania, and then later on University of Ghana. Sana Obabe Finance Minister around PNDC law, NDC time, any PNDC era now. This man has been in existence for over just a decade or almost more than a decade. Mami Kwekuho say you can't possible travel. What do you remember about Prof?
Nana, yeah, say anytime Yabubo Encrophobia to say Kwesibuchi Emone Normana. Nana Kwesibuchi's name stands for the economy. So I know there young time, no ye name, we didn't know anybody like Kwesibuchi. All that we knew was when they mentioned Kwesibuchi's name, then it means we are going to talk about the economy. And then about Bidru Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Attaah and then normal. So no, in actual fact, Kwesibuchi is the only finance minister or yet the longest serving finance minister during the Fourth Republic. During the PNDC, yes. Transcends beyond, exactly. Because during the PNDC time, he was finance minister for
all the whole of the PNDC
years. Yeah. It was 12 years. And then about 1992 and 1995.
I think for 2 decades as well.
Yes. So
for 2 terms as well. Yeah, exactly.
So he became so Kwesibuchi Eyobia Yenim. And the reason why he became the longest serving economist, finance minister of Ghana, it's not because we didn't have people who were equally intelligent like him, but the way and the vision they had at that time with then the running government was fantastic. And they made Ghanaians to see the vision. Ghanaians saw the direction of travel at that particular point in time. And people were able to have sympathy on them, even though I told them they are normal because Kwesibuchi wasn't taken out of context. Say, will be an or you be a Ghana for we did understand why the factors that were affecting Ghana at that time. Kwesibuchi, finance minister at that particular point in time, so not Ghana. Your patriotism, the level of patriotism of the ordinary Ghanaian, it was very, very high. So there was no say obi between say media me no Ghana me pemenko misike gu mi buto ama we did understand they had their own difficulties, but I believe Ghana has lost someone who has helped this economy, this country. Time things were not all that good, but they were able to put things together. Kwesibuchi was also internationally recognized. I mean, so even but the Ghana finance minister Kwesibuchi appears in I was trying to Google Kwesibuchi on and what type of Ghanaian finance minister it comes all the time. A lot, so I feel Ghana I don't know whether a junior he was able to impact that to the next generation, or whether the current administration or the previous administration were able to tap the type of intelligence and normal and knowledge but someone idea not just idea. But let us remember all these people, a time is coming whereby as a country, these are people we have to celebrate. By celebrating them, no, we have to have a way and connection. And now a link here, you bet me the archive. And I don't know whether we are doing that. Because if we are doing there, actually, the next 2-3 years, I'm on for real, say so more if you possible trading. And then it between the archive possible trading. And I think if there's something that we have to do, we have to think about it today. Senebea, Omo almost Nagana, doing anymore. Say, said we move free or Umudin and take possible trade. Then refer to
You ever was a mammy or in muscle. I think that when his butcher was off office, hardly did I hear him see self with butcher can be. I said, oh, quite cry, not on say, politician we have a casa because of what sometimes some of our politicians in office, wow, what to say, will be Obeka Bibi, Amawati, Nipa say. Nipa no is still around, I must say, but we never heard. I personally didn't hear about Kwesi Botwe until his demise, which is very unfortunate. A year weekend, yeah. But maybe some of the same questions. What are your memories of former finance minister Kwesi Botwe?
Nana, Kwesi Botwe came to power when I was a very young man, if not a small boy, I may say. And the moment you ask the question, memory, some are necessary because those days, kerosene was like gold today.
Exactly.
Petrol was hard to come by. And an attempt to control prices at the time. So what is it? Because you get back TV so and over radio so Nana, wow. Obama the price of the liter, the gallon, the bottle, and everything will be stated categorically. So nobody can charge a penny beyond, a penny below. And now we can say we can say market. Free market in your pen out on there. No, at the time, because the price not back. Or say 1 gallon, yeah, be a 1 CD 50 pesos. Who to be charging more than 50 pesos, not even 151 pesos. It's not allowed.
And that was the time of the PNDC.
The PNDC, yes. I mean, and the military rule. Therefore, yes, the office is because bar. Oh, I could carry you know, see. Now, the next day, camera in fact, on the kerosene tankers in the kerosene class, but Atomadaso, into Korea Channel. In Tibuama, person who say, oh, but next time, are they going to charge with which price or anything beyond? Not someone to. And these are some of them. I mean, fond memories you have about this at the time when we were kids. And seriously, even years ago, it's a budget transfer, you petrol near the 1 year. Now, not to say a police or government, whatever. Some mention, I don't say about what I'm saying. So, we can say petrol, kerosene, that's it. And the budget denied only the price of petroleum product.
But is it not interesting? Because when
it is beautiful. It is very beautiful. And it is beautiful. You see, at the time, you see, that's what we call leadership. Making sure, because especially to say at the time, Ghana as a country, might have just a handful, to be precise. It's not population, no, I'm saying knowledge, somewhere inside of the AD. Therefore, you have to make people understand where we stand, and that's leadership, right? So, in making you in the village, I will need any other means to understand the idea, or be of a trumpet drama, or issues everybody will understand and appreciate.
And at that time, also, not corruption. They have dealt with corruption to a extent. Corruption was very low, so the budget was being read accordingly, and that is exactly what the price was.
Do you think that it's because of it was military rule? Because now it actually, because now when we move to this democracy, Obia can speak up their mind and say politician Papa Penny at them. But that time, who are you to even speak against the government?
Nana, I can give you a very good answer.
Go on.
Nana, what Abrabo 18? What do you mean? Sorry. When you tell about Omicron, because only so pass on the Obi Omicron. Whenever there are laws, right? That's the essence of leadership. Look, Minister Women, and that's right. Everything is a consequence. Nana, yeah, can't Rwanda since here. Rwanda didn't say you can never put any paper on the floor in Rwanda. Why? Because the law bites. Right? Your crow here, Nana. When you say you are where John Sa, could it be chill? Ghana freedom. Because the law bites. Kromha, who here be here because you know the law can bite you, you think twice. Malaysia, the intersuo say one must saying you have to run to the intersuo Singapore. Yes. Because the law bites. Nana, your problem was here and they say you did democracy to a point the law never, it doesn't even hit a fly, let alone bite. Nana, look, people have so much power in their hands. I don't mean the state or individuals who has just basic contact with leadership can do anything to go away scot-free. But the law is to be rigid, right? These are the consequences. I'll tell you things to change. Therefore, I'm just supposing that to military now walk on. Maybe say if the military rule we have at the time is to be in place today, you could have been developed by now. It's unfortunate. I am not saying it's not being comfortable to see but I just want to link your question to what power means. And that's why leadership has to make it strong. Said these are rules. You go beyond it. He says you and say under a few of our democratic government. You can't see your evidence. Yes, there's natural justice. You need evidence. But every time you say is for the elite to carve away, to cheat us the masses. And these are the things I think a strong leader will put the feet down and say no. This is what I want.
So the question I want to ask, there's been a lot of debate whether democracy is good for Africans. Looking at the advantages and the disadvantages, do you think democracy is good for Africans, Anna? In your personal opinion?
Nana, I'll tell you, democracy is good for Africa. But the democracy you practice in Africa is not a democracy that is practiced in the Western world, who sold the so-called democracy to us at a higher price. Remember the reason why. Nana, here democracy is so solidified in the system. Say, Nana, me say, once you are actually MPs, members of the House of Lords are good prison. For some of them, very minimal kind of breach of rules and laws.
Parties.
Right? You actually want to prison. What do you see in Ghana? Do you know me? Who dare you now? Nana, a friend is saying, America, as we speak, there was an attempt to get former president, right? There's an attempt to get former president, a friend is saying, the immediate former president, what's his name? America.
Is it Trump? Donald Trump.
Yes, he's still in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
An attempt to get him into prison or criminalize him in that context. Let me put it that way. Nana, so the point is, Western world, no, democracy is strong. But the mistake I may say, the other side of this same coin, mistake I say, and they say, we didn't build our structures before jumping into democracy. It's just unfortunate. And we were forced by the Western world to get into it because we were not going to get the loans. But realistically, I'll tell you, should we get, since Singapore has democracy, right? They changed their government through election. Malaysia is having it because the structures have been built over years. We didn't build anything at all, and we just jumped into it. And MSA, when that happens, because the system hasn't got the structures to support democracy itself, people who came initially, instead of them to build, the structures no have advantage of the masses, and that's why we are suffering. So therefore, I'll say yes and no to the question. Both sides count. That's my position.
Mameko Kwekuso, Sir Ima Ama and his view on democracy. In your opinion, look at a place like Rwanda. Look at the Arab states.
Yeah.
How because
Qatar,
Qatar, as we see today, and even when you go to Dubai. I remember just recently some friends of mine went on holiday now. Call beach now. Attitude say of course to Oyiska be bring to gold watch. I continue one man or the two no cost with me. They were shocked, and these are people from Britain. I'm not talking about people on movie other countries, people who understand they are civilized, and I say, I won't see, maybe I say, and they were shocked, say, hey, and it's because of the rule of law, say, Juma. In your opinion, from what some if you look at the Arab states, if you look at places like Rwanda, do you think democracy is for Africa?
No, it's interesting. This conversation, we've had it so many times on this platform. So, anything say, look, there was one Italian prime minister, Dio called Ghana. I don't know whether he's ambassador or something, but he says that maybe I was a kind of democracy I was practicing. So, like Imam is saying, the kind of democracy now, practicing now. I can say you leap struggle to the level now, Meanwhile, your foundations, are very wrong. Me can say wrong, but the level of democracy now, I was say practicing. One, your rule of law, rule of law, no, and for the first we have to be very careful about what kind of democracy we practice. I have always been said with the view say Africa, you will raw materials, you will diamond, you will be unfortunately, say a basse economy ebema yenina ya we find it so difficult. Say baby to say antidokono yeton Ghana. People are finding ways and means to deceive people to find out say those days now the same size as it is it's the same size today and the same price or whatever.
Are you talking about the video I
think I saw a video like that. And almost in Moreno Kakredia no more de Habino Abokeshiri no more de Ebrona and San Omar. And you would for Fantidokono now, often said wait in the same Fantidokono and Dakeshi. What means, Nana. So you realize, say, acquire yet democracy is different. Look, Boris Johnson, Kwesi Kwarteng, they all left. Kwesi Kwarteng left because say the pound dropped about not even 2%.
He was sacked.
Fine, he was sacked. He was sacked because the pound dropped. See, I dropped to about 70%. The finance minister is saying, and then the fault. He hasn't done anything wrong. So, from what you are saying, democracy to me, as it's a good thing, don't get me wrong. But as far as the laws can't bite, and the law is very celestial to just who you hear, the Lord deals with you. Escafono, the Lord doesn't buy who you MPR, who you okay. That's of you know. Then democracy is no good. Look, we spoke about the military rule. Okay, Rawlings time now military, will come and read the budget. At that time, people believed that nobody was corrupt. We had the perception that even though I was that a software.
You were afraid.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it because we saw how people were beaten. We saw how Rawlings came and destroyed these people, took them out there and shot and killed them. Now we are not shooting to kill 2 or 3 people. We are killing in thousands through corruption and hunger. So which one do you choose? Is it a shooting of 3 or 4 or 5 people to make people sit down, or just let's leave it for thousands of poor children to die? What kind of democracy is it? So if this is what the democracy that Abraham bring into practice, it's not working. It hasn't worked because it's just there for some few people. If it's working and then we can blame, we can say, yeah, it's good. But as far as I am concerned, right now, the democracy we are practicing is not good for Africa. And for that matter, I would prefer the military rule should come.
It's here for Mamenti Wonka. Kokusi on the democracy, he doesn't think it's for us Africans. And produce and contribute to me after a show. Because it's a mean say papa masum. Democracy, is it good for us? And I say, is it not good for us? One other story, Mamenti Wonka. If you think democracy is for us, let me hear it. If you think democracy is not for us, let me also hear it. One other story this week about Abonte or say Anas Exposé or say accepting shopping money constitutes criminal behavior, AHLL, to dismiss a dupwa and Mamun in this week and Sama about or say Mary Mary Ahelewa Adai, programs manager, Ghana Integrity Initiative, GLL, has indicated that it was wrong for Charles Edubuahi, dismissed Minister of State of Finance. Adentina or Odessa and Semi Ebe Tuja. And I know according to him, the finance minister to accept dollar for shopping in the latest expose by the investigative journalist Anas Arameyao Anas. And speaking on News File program Saturday, she explained that the said gift, which was packed in a rubber bag by the minister, was inappropriate because it was meant to facilitate a process. From the conversation, you realize that there is intent to facilitate a process, and there is already greasing of palm to facilitate the process going forward. And for me, it was clearly constitutional crime behavior. Madam Adai and Edixa Asemi Anas in the post on his Facebook timeline hours before the showing of the Galamsey economy film, noted that the minister made some shocking revelation to his team in the hotel in the UAE when they posed the possible investigators to Ghana. He said Edubuahin alleged the vice president, Mr. Mohamedou Bawumia, will require about $200,000 as appearance fee from the investigators. And this goes on and on and on. Gentlemen, I don't know which one of you would like to touch this story. Ghana, it's a Kamia say greasing of palm. We all know say a bonnet, but we all know say it has become part of us to the extent say when you go to work to a normal government office, call assess whatever service or provider which they are paid to do, no, you are challenged to pay something, and they are expecting for you to pay something before they execute whatever they will do. To the extent that CCN is on a higher level, $200,000. Now, already exposed in the crampo now. Apart from that, from what I read, and yeah, no kwampo, the Ebekon family, honest and manioma. What's the idea? No? How did that make you feel?
Nana Mida say I have seen the expose, and I think say share the video nankasa nina depending on time edubuahen share shake share and kasa or introduce on so say we invest ska but you see what happened, and I say this is after, according to source, you see, this video was done in 2008. I don't know whether it's true or not. 2018. Now, a woman say this was after the banking clear-ups. And he announced, decided, say he wants to find out what was really going on. And that is where Omoko Dubai. Now, do you know, say, baby almost set it because up, no? That was the same room almost set it Dubai up. This is funny. It's so strange that this guy could fall for it. That should tell you, say, corruption, I bet common.
But could you not believe that if it's around the same time now, by
the same time, by the same place?
No, what I mean is, by the time first one they buy now my second one in that, but more expose second video.
Exactly. I mean, it was done long, but they've kept it up to now. According to Kwekuba Akono, the video, no, according to source, somebody paid for it. So the video was actually stolen. And what they didn't know, they said they had a copy somewhere. And it's been there up to now. But Nane, look, whoever is saying, say, Edubuahin has been entrapped, no, he must think again. This is Obi Awakushiano. I'll say me beye investment in Ghana. How do I get access to the most influential people in the country?
Hold on, mommy. How did that make you feel before you carry on?
Yeah.
Say we've got somebody who wants to invest into the economy,
yeah.
And we think even though we know the person will benefit from it,
yeah.
but at the same time they're going to create jobs
yeah.
for the same people we are leading, and they are crying that they don't have a job or they don't have money in their pockets. How did that make you feel? These same people, want to frustrate and kind of take money, and it's not just like cocoa money. We're talking about huge sums of money.
No, I felt so sad because prior to that, the expose, I was listening to one of the radio stations in Ghana, and even the Speaker of Parliament was saying, a lot of people are, especially doctors, having been paid. Besides that, a lot of trained doctors and nurses are leaving the country to UK just because they can't find a job. So if you've got somebody who has $500 million want to come and invest in the country, and you want to take $200,000, and I felt so bad, I felt so sad, and I didn't know what to do. The question I asked myself, and I said, you have a company that is doing well, Edubuahin. This your brokerage company is doing business with the government already, and
would you not challenge the integrity of that business?
I will. Now I will. I mean, because we've been talking about it. We know there's a conflict of interest over there, but they are saying they are not in charge of the company, but they are. Of course, they are. We know the company belongs to them, But let's go back to the 200,000, Nana. It's so sad, say, Charles Dubois as the Minister for Finance for in the war. I'm not really saying Minister for Minister of State in charge of finance.
Yeah.
So they should be fighting for the policies of the Ghana government. One district, one factory. All these things are there. So if you are going in for money, no be now. He didn't even go in for that meeting. No. They sent him there for a different meeting, and these people invited him to a private meeting, and this is where this conversation happened. And they said, we want to invest in Ghana. So and so and so. And you were saying, oh, this amount of money, if you want to see the vice president, you have to pay 200,000 as a something fees, appearance fee. And then it went on to talk about the vice president has got a lot of family members. And if you open the business, you have to mention to the vice president that you are going to give the job, you're going to give his family members some of the job and things. So that should tell you, so or no now occupy that particular space, it's because say he has a relationship with
affiliates.
Exactly. And that is why Osafo Mafo's kids are still working. SIC, when they were telling Ghanaians, say Ejuma Eno. So these are just job for the boys. It exposes a lot of rots that is going on in the country. It's not just the corruption aspect of giving the 200,000, but it tells you a lot about how you will be able to gain employment if you are linked to the powers that be. If you are not linked to the powers that be now, I can bet you say you can never get a job. And I felt so sad watching that. I feel say this man should have been sacked long time ago, because Ghanaians are saying, say, they don't want him. He has a business that has there's conflict of interest in his position that he occupies, or not a finance minister. And that is why both of them are in this trouble. We haven't had any finance minister, Yedina Kokot, say that it hasn't happened. These are the only two people that the Ghanaian, to a extent, say the NPs are even saying they don't like them. So to me, I felt so sad, and I felt sad how, as we try to build the country up, a month for yesi almost so musubano. They are the same people, the people who are telling us yes, Subano, they are the same people who are exhibiting this Subano to us. How do we change this Subano?
How do we change it? So right here for our time check at the moment is 15 minutes past 6 your time, and your boom, don't read Eddie at so when we say a year you must be, and almost why I say we can wake out night day Jimmy bro. Menu if you know and compare beer. I'll be right back.
Casting Advisory is what you need. Are you looking for business solutions that will serve your needs? Look no further, because Casting Advisory is all you need. Casting Advisory is a unique advisory firm that provides specialized solutions in tax and business planning, audit and assurance services, company secretarial services, corporate advisory, corporate training, tax policy advisory, charity registration and accounting, gift aid for churches and charitable organizations. Our understanding and industry experience provides a cutting-edge software solution tailor-made for your firm. Locate Casting Advisory in the UK, Suite 4, the Generator Business Center, 95 Miles Road, Meacham, Surrey, CR4 3FH, or call us in the UK on 020-840-81520 or 078-867-15702, or email us at info@castinggroup.com. And in Ghana, locate Casting Advisory Suite 5, the first floor of the Zerka Plaza, Tetegu Junction, Southeast Ranger off the Kaswa Highway, or call 0249-700-075. Casting Advisory, the delivery of excellence redefined. Casting Advisory is what you need.
Trinity Driving School, your #1 driving school in the UK.
Did you know that they're equipped with professional driving instructors who will teach you to pass your tests with ease?
So, If you want to pass to your test, please look no further.
Contact Trinity Driving School on 07507 116997.
Trinity, safe and responsible driving.
Jack, Utie, what's up, radio?
What up, radio? I love this station.
Yeah, it's here for you. Welcome back. If you just join us or if you just tune in, just remind you that you are listening to awareness what's up radio. So just before we left na ye ka tie ekoso edubo here in the quarters Ghana and the financial ministry. Now, my main core imaso. I don't know whether you've heard this, but if you haven't, I know you've probably heard that. I heard the finance minister Papa Kanofurata telling Ghanaians Professor Dubois contributed a lot for the Fourth Republic. And when I heard that in reference to what has happened, I was kind of a bit taken aback because we need to treat people individually. Professor Dubois, a former professor, Wapaye Neju Marco, and we deal with him and we respect him for that. Does that mean say bako ye bibia ye beshe papa or ye ma Ghana and I said in the part of playing the Fourth Republic in bano efuma yemfanchana. And this thing I wasn't surprised because that is something that is very common with Ghanaians. Say na no sebi obi oho no ma akwalabi ekoya dia yesi upam akukọ ye dia yem kora ye dia ebe say upam akukọ bone no na akukọ pa ediechiri. What that means, they say, sometimes when you go in for somebody who is bad, because of your affiliate or your connection with the person who is related to that person who is good, now any lenient. Do you think that as leadership, is it something that not so mention? That is one. And the second thing I want to also find your reaction about is how did you feel? Say in penny for $200,000 US for shopping. My name called.
I'm so beside me two questions. First one, make I say, is it worth mentioning? I will say no. Why is it so? Nana, when you grow up to a certain stage in your life, your future or your progress, your success, your failures are not shaped by your parents, but it is you. Nana, could we now believe, say, if that is the case, say, obiti say, Atai, it's only Atai.
Yeah.
The most hardened criminal Ghana ever had. Say, Atai ba, Ewohani etis Atai ba abone humodin, every law school. Akakasapa, Ayanoma pa, now for qualify for president. Yeah, man, the right to be a president. Because Oyata Iba.
Why shouldn't we?
Because they're by a cron for Tatashi. Good. And this, I just want to set that example for us to think about why somebody should make that statement at all. He is Charles Edubuahin. Ne papa, your Professor Edubuahin. Ne papa, DNA ebiwonimu, yes, but his behavior is shaped by himself after adulthood. That is why we have a separation between adulthood and childhood. When he was a child, when he commits crime and whatever, I can go and ask the mom or the dad for, that why even they are not responsible, but they can give you a few stories to help you shape that child. But the moment he becomes an adult, he takes decision by himself. Somebody who has grown to the extent of setting up a brokerage, finance brokerage. Like I said, ne papa ye inti no baby enfant channel. As soon as you say ne papa or your professor, na Ghana, so you say professor who yes, can be around one get to heaven. I'm a teacher for a teacher company for the higher school of a teacher for Bono, or didn't that was as one so. Why don't we then measure him by that standard? So no pay teacher, there's also no pay professor, it's only be teacher, and I say super professor, say be what baby there. Right? Instead of you can say near papa ye no ye BSc the channel. Nana, that is out of the way. Perfectly, I'll disagree. Nana, on your second question, right? What we have as a pupil is we must know that whatever the situation, we live in a country where things like corruption, we must at every point in time make sure we put them aside. Nana, because ocean you see na $200,000
Choppable US.
Choppable.
Because dollars also a US, because Canadian dollar no ever from Kakara. This is US dollars.
Good.
Not choppable,
Good. Nana, so the question we ask ourselves as a people is, where are we taking our country to? If somebody has been able to have just a meeting to request for $200,000 for his pockets, just to shop. Nana, look, of late, every time they do Ghana, Nasam Ghana street so every time I real ho. Nana uhu e mani bi pa na ne babbo na chi. Akwala bi be obi nsa akwala no merely some 2 months, 3 months. Na otane mami echi. Right? Oshe mami echi. Na mami swa ice water. Ice water nba ko 20 pesos. Sisi anso put the MC inflation get 60. 20 pesos. Na what tobacco. I hen na mami beton. When you be say a beer or baby that day in the first place, when you be a tree rent, a tree electricity, a tree gas, a ton to macro or the chicha quality, now quality be a D to grow up as a human being. I'm sorry to use that word. So on your boy anyway. Nasa obi a quack of fawachi to take such a just or the project back amount for your Juma year. Let's assume. But you'll be 200. Now, if you tell me this, I won't come into that country. If I come into that country, I'm coming with a particular position. And the point is, that is why, Nana, you ask yourself, these are some of the reasons why you pound a city as a city, no, a city as a coffee. Because if you do this to me, Miss Ru, my baby business, it means coming a piano, minya 10,000, my swako. Because anything I can't trust you. Right? And I'm talking of the government, because this is a government official who is going to introduce me to a top government official. So that tells me it's a clique, a cliche, or whatever it is. And also, and for that matter, me as a person, every 3 months, say Qatar and Biko, say US or whatever, no, and so when that happens, we chrome for no almost pay this same foreign currency as a Sunday ako. Me must somebody ako into munye bia to push your CD all the way down the doldrums. And so, therefore, what I would say is it is unfortunate. Say as a people, you begin say it is right. So be papa, enti or commit crime be as a crime no near chim. And Yanka Christo ni bia ko di boni en fan channel you say Jesus Christ by no or no de osiboni nyina no and or the moja pra de tria ma yen nto the moja tria ma any Christo ni bia ko di boni a or en fan no kokokro nya no man nko ne baby freedom. So it is sad. When I heard that story, Nana, I don't lie to you. I when I read, I was like, how can somebody speak like that? It tells me to say Cecilia Rollins. The Rollins may be caught a big cop. Now say, in fact, luckily enough, we have another Rollins in government now. Into your corner of right? Yen can say, yes, this same MPP come back and say, oil Rollins about NTBB in Yamanenka. You see, it's all you of one side, no actual one side. Let's be a bit realistic and a little bit forthright with facts, figures, and what I'll call conscience as the last word when we are making some of this judgment and pronouncements as politicians, because we are carving the world to come. Because leadership, that's what it is. You are the one who is influencing the coming generation, the followers. Therefore, on some and they will come back at us at a point in time. Somebody about this gentleman in the US. What do you call him? Kevin Taylor. Or say at the video no money you. Then penny 4 of today. And a chair will no one pick it up. And on the end say a social media. I said but social media at the time. But the power of the social media. I'm on a higher tempo, right? And I'm play in the back, and will be a boofu. It's any one no.
Yo, Ima Medawase. This week, someone in this ad hoc committee, or parliament, I invited a Kenoforiata. It was quite interesting. Or see Kenoforiata bask in his government past glories. Also, the finance minister posture when he appeared before the ad hoc committee in Parliament on November 18, and can be described as confident, as he did not miss words on the achievements of his government. According to him, since 2017, he have completely managed the economy. He stated that the allegation leveled against him by the proponents of the census motion were unfounded and untrue. Despite calls for his removal, Oforiatta said, Honorable Court Chair, we have competently managed the economy since 2017. Indeed, to appreciate where we are now, we need to look back at where we've come from. At the close of 2016, an assessment of the economy reveals, and I'll give some statistics here. Limited fiscal space, that's fiscal deficit, was 6.5%. And 2, distressed financial sector, NPL ratio was 17.3%. Then assets quality review document that had not been released. Then he went on and on and on to the stance that on mentioned monetary policy rate, interest rate was 25.5% at the end of December 2016. Limited CAPEX to MDAs, and he went on. Mentioned Doomsaw, which had CCR become the word that CCR call Oxford Dictionary mark. It will now is a thing of the past. And Kenoforiatta also noted that his government adoptedly economic growth in the first 3 years, adding that Ghana growth in 2019 was counted as one of the highest globally. And inflation came down significantly from 15.4% to 7.9%, and he went on and on and on and on and on. This year, the inflation, because free power. Do you think that from the stats now, they've done a really good job? Do you think it's fair for us to say, even though say be a drone, a jumano, and koye, we say economy, and koye waka. In that ad hoc way, he came out to say, and yeah or no, it's not his fault. As a minister, or mention Ukraine war, or mention what is happening with COVID-19 impact, and now okay, we don't even control our own economy because of the big boys. The big boys are more holding your finances. Is it okay for him after say Ghana for no one party for? Say on step it down, but all related to or CV now what saving what he's done in the past, now they're checking for them. This is the evidence. I'm capable, I'm still capable. Anytime I'm capable, Anna. Is it right? My main call, Mr. Why ready? Omega Crana main call,
Nana Medase. I think I watched the proceedings, and when I was excited when Ken Oforiatta was called to come and answer certain questions.
He was calm.
He was calm. Nana, at a point, I think the whole committee thing wasn't organized properly.
And do you think that the co-chair and not the NDC man did really prepare himself?
Yes, he proved that he's a lawyer. He had
but he was much this man the man
Katie Hammond.
Katie Hammond was almost controlling everything to the extent of me muting the mic.
I think that was something that they should have reported, because the way Katie Hammond behaved, I'm not saying he's not an intelligent person. He is very intelligent if you look at him. But I think there's something about Katie Hammond that shows that he can never win any case in any court. No judge will allow Katie Hammond to behave the way he behaved over there. It's uncalled for, to be quite honest. But when you come back to Ken Oforiatta, Nana,
do you still on Katie Hammond? Don't you think he was there for a mission?
Well, he's an MPP person, so he was there for a mission, actually. But it wasn't an MPP who selected him. He was selected by the Speaker of Parliament. So nobody has a complaint. You can't complain. It was the Speaker who chose him, said Katie Hammond should be a co-chair to the committee. But I think his behavior was disgusting. It was disgraceful. And I think somebody should tell him that the way he conducted himself, at that particular point in time, it wasn't good for the democracy that we are talking about. You see, these are some of the things that when you see now, you don't even want to listen to the word democracy again, because people who are so learned, who should know what democracy is about and play the game according to what democracy is about, are the same people who are flouting the rules of democracy. And that is what makes the whole thing very shameful. But if you come to Ken Oforiatta, Nana,
what's up?
Ken came there and he read the budget. Okay, that was one thing I didn't like. He came and told the people what he's done with Ghana's money. That was not what the Ghanaians want. That was not what the committee was set up for. The committee was set up because of certain performances and as a certain findings that they think the finance minister has mismanaged the economy, and there are certain money that came out. Or issue check loans. Normal is supposed to go to should go to through Parliament, and they didn't. So all these things, were part of his charges, right? Now, when we went there, he went and read the budget. I think he has missed reading budget, because he think 2023 budget, they wouldn't allow him to read. So he went there to say, well, whether you like it or not, I'm reading the budget to you. This is what we've done. So he went and read. And if you look at the kind of arrogance.
But don't you think he was just reminding Ghanaians of what the past achievement and his capability?
What is the past achievement?
Well, if you look at the statistics, it just speaks for itself.
Where is it?
From what I just read.
What I mean, at the moment, there were so many questions out. What is the inflation rate now? What's the GDP? What's the exchange rate? All these questions that were asked, if you compare them to previous years, they are worse off. Okay, so there's nothing to gloat about. There's nothing to bask yourself on. We can't put you on a pedestal because now the exchange rate is 17 cedis to a pound. And my only problem, Nene, if you look at the arrogance now Oforiatta was exhibiting over there, and you look at the way Gabi Asare-Okyere also came there and he also behaved well. I don't want people to think I am very ignorant. I don't know the difference between ignorance and confidence. I know the difference. But if you have your fellow MP talking and you think what you are saying is more important than what your fellow MP is saying, then you have to stop and think again. You know, having said that, now I think the questions that were thrown to him, there should have been follow-up questions that the MPs made. I watched the proceedings according to when GNPC came to explain, or when they came to be interviewed. They said that, and you are here, they said that when the company was set up, they paid 194 million for the acquisition price.
It was 199.
199, fine, 199. Now, this company started operating before they even paid for it. And when they were paying for it, they paid 164.
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore, the difference between 199 and 164, what happened? And they were saying, it was reconciliation program. And I'm not accountant, but I know what reconciliation is. You know what reconciliation is? And then they say, mato idea from chain. Idea na mato no. And I'm kwanso baba mechiaka. It has not arrived at what Meme warehouse. So if I have auditors in my warehouse and they are checking, they will find out that this amount of money is gone out. But there's no goods to replicate. Say this is Sikana Ediko and the goods in the. So the goods hasn't arrived yet. So if you are doing accounting, you have to balance the books according to the goods now Ebana in Medruyan. So you have to represent that goods with the customer, no, consignment now, the customer now with check. So also you can pay a check. Yama check. It takes 5 days now, clear. The check has been issued. The auditor is here today. The check is gone. It has not cleared. So we have maybe 100,000 over here. We've issued 50,000 already. It hasn't cleared. It doesn't mean that the money now is still 100,000. It means it's kind of what has to say, it's without 50,000. So you have to reconcile some of these things. Now, the way they presented this particular transaction, by mentioning the reconciliation, they did it for Ghanaians to believe, say, the acquisition price, was reduced to 164. And I heard Katie Hammond saying, why are you questioning the difference? If they acquire the company at 199 and they pay 164, then it means Ghana benefited from the company, this thing about 100. Did you hear that conversation?
What's your worry?
What's your worry? And I was sitting there and they said, no, you can't do that. I was biting my fingers. I said, you cannot do. So you see some of these things, that the questions that went on, in fact, if it is not the lawyers who do not even understand, the MPs didn't understand what was happening. Do you get my point? So it wasn't a short change. It was when the company was lifting, they have lifted some oil and they use that amount that they've lifted to balance the payment. So not far, they paid 199. So it's not 164. And they were asking, and when they asked GNPC, they said, how did you pay for the acquisition? They said, we took money from the finance minister gave us money. Was it a loan? Yes. What is the rate on the loan? We don't know. Can we have a document that shows that 60 million the finance minister gave to you was a loan? We didn't bring the document. There were so many things they asked, they couldn't provide those documents. You know what happened? When they went and sat down in a room, they decided, say, those questions they asked GNPC, it doesn't relate to the finance minister, so they have to strike those questions off. So those were not part of the finance minister. But the finance minister was the person who issued that money to GNPC. And they were saying, did the money that he provided to GNPC, did he receive parliamentary approval? Parliament said he didn't come to us. We did not approve that money. So how did he issue the money to GNPC? Do you understand? So there are so many things, and Senator was also trying to say, listen, can we have figures for the reconciliation? They said, no, we don't have the figures. When it comes to GNPC, with that money, they didn't have any document in back end. Meanwhile, before GNPC came there, according to them, they told them, say, we need every document that you think you can provide a bit to me as support to your evidence. They didn't even come with one single document. Finance minister came there, they asked him a document, and he provided the document. When they took the document, they said, is this a published document? He said, no, this is an internal document. They said, no, we want published public document that shows that the figures we are talking about, because the figures are in public domain. So we need document that confirms this. He said, I don't have it. So to me, Nana, everything was in shambles. And I think that is why people think, say, the finance minister has been vindicated. But, and I say, because I'm just reading something from Bright Simon, who is saying, it's not Bright Simon, I think, what's it, Franklin Kujo. And I'm going to read some of them. Franklin Kujo, the president of Imani Africa, has indicated that Ken Ofori-Atta, the embattled finance minister, was able to acquaint himself with explanations when he appeared before the committee hearing the motion of censure filed by the minority MPs, just because of the way the questions and everything was framed. So you realize, these things, Nana, to me, it wasn't proper. After that, you know what I did? I came here and then watched some of parliamentary, how do we call it in the
Proceedings.
UK, parliamentary proceedings in this country, and then I realized the difference. You could see the type of question they ask, and you see people are supporting their explanation with document. In our case, no.
Yo, it's here for me. You if you didn't come, baby, I'll be right back.
Trinity Driving School, your number one driving school in the UK.
Did you know that they're equipped with professional driving instructors who will teach you to pass your test with ease?
So, if you want to pass your test, please look no further.
Contact Trinity Driving School on 07507 116997.
Trinity, safe and responsible driving.
Casting Advisory is what you need. Are you looking for business solutions that will serve your needs? Look no further, because Casting Advisory is all you need. Casting Advisory is a unique advisory firm that provides specialized solutions in tax and business planning, audit and assurance services, company secretarial services, corporate advisory, corporate training, tax policy advisory, charity registration.
Abolo, hey, wala bolo Jesu. Ikabolo, hey, wala bolo Jesu. Wachamele ye mana, yangale no nyame boy. Abolo ni chengwe ni bane kuni waye kuni waishi. Moni abolo le, eba ishi ke ya nano. Wachamele ye mana, yangale no nyame boy. Abolo ni chengwe ni bane kuni waye kuni waishi. Moni abolo le, eba ishi ke ya nano. Inkabolo, hey, wala bolo Jesu. Abolo, hey, wala bolo Jesu. Joy, Wachamele ye mana, yangale no nyame boy. Abolo ni chengwe ni bane kuni waye kuni waishi. Moni abolole, eba ishi ke ya nano. Wachamele ye mana, yangale no nyame boy. Abolo ni chengwe ni bane kuni waye kuni waishi. Moni abolole, eba ishi ke ya nano. Moni abolole, eba ishi ke ya nano. Oh, eba ishi ke ya nano. Hey, I will make Ngomi ngeswami ibe ngomi no eje ne mayare o ngomi ngeswami ibe ngomi no eje ne mayare o ike ngomi ngeswami ibe ngomi no eje ne mayare o ngomi ngeswami ibe ngomi no eje ne mayare o I want me
Yo, it's here for Gambia Breno. It's almost at the time. And I'd like to use this opportunity to apologize in a little technical HSB, but thankfully you to me a solve it every I hope that you are still staying here with me. Just before I hear Bekono na ye finance minister, and you ma ekoso ma na kwekune kasa ma menko imaso. Ima finance minister waba betre na Ghana for BC Olivier on Past Glory. TK Hammond.
Yeah.
What if said ni way now be play and to the extent a question be a horn to make us say why are you asking this question or allow those questions to be asked? Was it fair? That's the first thing. And the second part I want you to find, I want your reaction on what was your reaction with the accounts and the way the finance minister himself?
Nana, I'm saying the question of fairness. I'm saying I on this platform before. One of my employers in those days when I was young, in fact, I went for job training. It's a chartered accountant, and it was an accounting practice firm. So the way things are happening near the end, it's like this. It's not fair. So, Mr. Ashley, do you expect fairness? Fairness is only in the dictionary. The word fair is in the dictionary, but it doesn't transcend to real life. Up to today, I'll tell you for a fact. Why am I saying so? Your question of fairness, Nana, this is somebody who is sitting on the ticket of the MPP. And you see, in every party, right, we have those at the extreme and those within, the normal range of the party. And Katie Hammond is an extremist, right?
So a
Within the
terrorist.
NPP. Well,
Or a
okay.
terrorist.
He's an extremist, NPP extremist. What it is he was playing the cards that he knows to play, right? And he's been given the role of a chairmanship. And the fact that he's a chairman, he has the right to say anything and regulate the meeting at any point. So it's up to myself and yourself to decide whether he did right or he did wrong. But the fact that he had the powers, right, to be in that chair, they were co-chairs, two of them. Therefore, he has every right, nothing prevents him from doing what he did. If you ask my personal opinion, I would say he disgraced himself as a co-chair of such a committee, such a powerful committee, mandated by the speaker. But the point is, I would like us to be clear on this. So that is my opinion. An extreme MPP member somewhere on the ground will say, wow, and say yes, and he's also right. So the point of fairness and whatever here, it depends on where the person stands.
What kind of eye or what kind
the
of
spectacle.
That's the point. That's the point. And for that matter, I would say, to me, personally, if you ask me, yes, I would say no. It's unfortunate that a chairman of such a high-profile committee behaved the way he did. In fact, at the point now, if you oppose some of the questions, I ask myself, what is this man up to? Because you could see that he was in there to take a stance and ridicule certain events. But this is a parliamentary proceedings that is being captured by Hansard. So his children, grandchildren will come to see this in the future. Probably he didn't think about those things. So I have to put up my best because my grandchildren will come and see this and make a judgment on what I did at a certain point in life. But that is up to him. Nana, second question, what was the second question?
The first one was the second one is about Kenneth Ofori-Atta himself. What was your reaction?
His performance.
The performance of Ofori-Atta is wonderful. You see, what makes it wonderful to me is, Nana, what him say, I saw this video of Kenneth Ofori-Atta sitting and doing this. And it was a TikTok video. In fact, seriously, I thought somebody just created it. But later, when I saw one other video, I realized, no, it was behaving like that, really. Just like it was the words, right? Or the audio part that was, I think, was created by somebody. But that tells you the man was stressed out.
But he said it.
Oh, he made no comments.
Yeah, after his conclusion, I think he said this is one of the most tiring destiny of his life.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised. It is his most tiring because Nana, the point is, Nana, you see, leadership must account for their actions. You see, Nana, it's the problem is of our Africa, right? I'll tell you for a fact, and for Ghana for that matter,
be responsible and accountable.
Yes, leaders don't want to be responsible.
And accountable
To their followers. But that is the beauty of democracy. That's the beauty of leadership. Nana, seriously, if you go even to our tertiary institutions, a provice is like a god. You can't go to him and talk to him to put matters across. A DCE, because he sits on district, what they call it, is it district whatever, security council. Therefore, you have no, it looks like you down there with him, you have no brains. He tells you what to do, you have to just follow. And it's all across. The banks, wherever, it is like that. But the reality is that leadership is a very difficult job. And that's why when you're a leader, you get so much money for sometimes doing nothing. I hope you are here. You know what it is. Your manager is in her office sitting down, and you go and report to her, and she takes about 2-3 times your salary, isn't it? But you think she sit down? No, it isn't. Because the brain has to be working 24/7. She can't sleep. He or she can't sleep in the night. When you finish work, you just go and hand over. You are going to sleep. That person, he or she might not sleep the whole night to the next day when there's a small balance. That things are not going right. And that's the power of leadership. Ours is a matter of just join them. We are one of them. You're also a human being, also in past. So whatever happens, forget it. You are not being so and these are the issues. So, sincerely speaking, the behavior of the minister, Nana, one said, BBA say, in the committee room under interrogation on Kasa or train a man lawyer and Kasans or Wawaka.
There were a lot of text messages floating around.
Too many. Nana, why would this happen in the other part of the world? Yes, you have your time. Nobody says if it is, let's swear your lawyers in so that they take the stand and talk if that is allowed. I don't know whether it's allowed by the Ghanaian parliamentary system. I don't know. But if not, they have to school you properly out there. When you come and say it as they school you. But when the ultimate transfer trade form is no didn't come up, so say this, no, I can't. And it's acceptable. I'm not a lawyer. I must be frank with you. I'm not a lawyer in that profession. But near me, outside world, no, it never happens anywhere. But yeah, it happened. So therefore, I did not. And I'll tell you, I don't know whether. Let me tell you something small before we go. Do you know, say whatever he has said, say only answers to no. When you go to the plenary of Parliament, legally, no, nobody can hold that against him because Yababe can you do also no onim no nyiano. That be oniano. Nye document onim no nyiano. Into any you cannot hold that against him. Ewo debate ne babe no. And the worst scenario is some of the court. On the matter of unconstitutionality, they say the court they be decided. Because to me, fire no no plenary. Say into kind of as a point. Now the man for the decided say your penalty and penal. Number two, on the matter of is it conflict of interest? I'm saying no we know this lab body.
GMP.
No. One of these investigative bodies. The serious fraud office. Pia Bakumbi. Yes, you are some dealing with that conflict of interest, no. And so that is another point. So then you are going to transfer this matter to these two other bodies, constitutionality or unconstitutionality of the matter. Then the other of conflict of interest will go to another place. But Nana, when all is said and done, the media crime a real who you charming sloom party say.
Odion, message be about Samiyama or say I disagree with Ashley. I think Kenoforiata did answer questions really well. I disagree with some of his answers, but he did very well.
Okay. I mean that Samiyama say officer Kenoforiata did very well. That's his opinion anyway. Opinions are just like noses. So that's why it is. But Nana, on the other side of the coin, Mr. Chamis Lumpa has to do with Nana Komia. I think the same day before the Kanufriata Bayano.
I still have 1 minute because of time.
Okay. Also, just in case, Kwan say, your parliament passes say yes. The whole parliament agrees. So yeah, Pamo Kanufriata. It is the president who has the ultimate say, and he may even end up questioning everything. It's more how you say.
The Constitution say he may.
So that's the point. So that's where we are.
There's nothing.
Mommy, quick time. No, I be Uncle Sam. 1 minute and your last words.
Nana, there's something here which I would like to say. My whole story. I don't know whether Ken Ofori-Atta, but the finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta has apologized to Ghanaians for the hardship they have faced recently, and according to him, the people has borne the brunt of the president's economic. So he mentioned this during the adult committee hearing on the censure resolution against him. Let me use this opportunity to say to Ghanaian people that I believe with courage, every finance minister around the world may wish to say to their people, now I am truly sorry, he told the committee. But I didn't like Obusa Amanfo said who would like to live in Togo, who would like to live in Burkina Faso, who would like to live in Mali. Uche is awesome.
Maybe I'm sorry, but
and say Ivory Coast, and say the countries around us, economy, has not been affected so much like the way the external economy, external factors has affected Ghana's economy, i.e. Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Togo, and then Kenneth Orata can say, to be quite honest, what he said was true. Say the structure of their economy is different from ours. But in actual fact, really, the word really, who would like to live in those countries? In terms of those countries, Africa is no meaning to Nipa or
say Africa's no opeso bisa se nipa wo ha na Sammy Kanjos, that was too cheap from the finance minister. It's Idioka and also on the way. Thank you for Sunday and Diako Soyani Kitty. 80 high did you median in ABC? And your Maya no to change 70 BB ended up with the someone winning ad hoc committee. A kind of Oriata or Qua Nasa Oba. And the dear sitting in age and another down Quasho. It must say questions, Nibi Hoa, some me all the way from baby or will be also disagreeing up did so well. Every honey a call a yes, America. The expose this year there's so shopping money and don't go low a 200,000 US choppable money. And you see a 50 mu pense mu. But to start it all, crowning, starting the year we talked about a year World Cup here, and my predictions we about a year. You must say, on the full say Ghana and a berry because that is based by scientific evidence. Well, go say Qatar, I'm on berry in the media, Miss next week. Ain't Samiyama? Also for our predictions, Brad. You got up to the end of next week. It's here for also bet me the predictions about and the Abemana and the Kakrani says senior goals and the Bacono de Bar. There's a special prize for you. So prediction or Ebemoa. 81 to mean Kabiama Kun said there's only one Ghana. There's only one mother Ghana. 80 BBIA piano and the Profwa Betino, so we have to be responsible and accountable. 80 making sure said you will be na way ni na what you inch 3 months on. Nasagana and ye cry dear no because in penny says so see a chin your die why and out of free. And I'm say count na count to yes some boardria. Somebody and was recording. Ain't you so many and that she been say come back and I said different bar why when a mono. Ain't you want to make happy Mamidian and I him mother said I'll come all your way week in week out in summer a good pasua bar. Bye bye.